So, this console generation seems to be, it might actually be the last console generation to ever include a physical disk drive. Now, there's been reports that have now been showing up on the internet over the last few days that apparently the next PlayStation, such as the PlayStation 6, might actually be the last PlayStation console to ever include physical media. Now, we've been seeing this coming for quite some time now. We knew it was coming. People can't deny that. Physical media is essentially declining. And what makes it even more interesting is that even if you have a Xbox One or an Xbox Series X, not the Xbox Series S, but the Series X, most of the time, the full games of a disc that you purchase, you're only basically installing 1 gig of the entire game. Whereas, however much big that the game is, let's say a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, okay? That game is 100 gigs if you download or install the full vanilla version of that game. Well, you're basically just installing 1 gig of that game, but you have to download the 99 other gigs of the game. Now, I'm not saying it's Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm just making an example, even though Red Dead Redemption 2, you don't have to literally worry about that because it was basically with 2 discs that were included, so you got to install individual content of the main game. But it's basically games that started right after the launch of Red Dead Redemption 2, late in the Xbox One generation, and then ever since the Xbox Series X, however, has launched, Microsoft's games have always just been, you just install a small 1% portion of the game, and you got to download the 99 other percent portion of the game. And at this point, it's just there's no reason. There's literally no reason to put any sorts of data of a game on a disc if you just have to download pretty much the main game, pretty much the entire game, minus just 1 gig. Yay! 1 gig. 1 freaking gig that you don't have to worry about taking up all your time. Yay! But still, 99 gigs. That's still a lot, and 1 gig compared to that is not enough of a portion of a game. Now, if it was 50% of a game and you had to download the other 50%, that would have been a little bit understanding. But when it comes to Microsoft, so like I mentioned, the Xbox One, the late Xbox One generation, and then the Xbox Series X, they don't even put nothing but 1% of the entire game on the disc. Otherwise, you're just better off not buying the disc. You're just better off to purchase it digitally. Now, PlayStation is a little bit different, and PlayStation has been sticking with this for a good while. They don't seem like they want to get rid of physical media, at least not as of yet, and that's why we're seeing reports and a rumor/leak that the next generation PlayStation 6 might actually be the last PlayStation to include a physical disc drive, or that gives you the option to purchase a physical disc drive. Kind of like right now with the PS5 Slim. If you get the digital PS5 Slim, you have the option to buy a disc drive separately and attach it to that console. Now, I know the whole stupid that you need to be connected to the internet type deal is insanely stupid, but it is dumb. But at the same time, you kind of can't go wrong with Sony, because then again, it's got to register, so that's the only way that you can register a disc drive, even though you should just be able to put it in there and boom and start it. But I guess there's some weird stuff that's going on, piracy and stuff like that, and I think that's why Sony has done it like that. But other than that, you can literally just buy a PlayStation 5 Slim, simply put a disk drive in if you decide to get one later, and activate it using the internet, and boom, you can start playing PlayStation 5 games with the discs. But honestly, we have seen it coming, and I was actually saying this though with the last generation consoles, that this console generation with the PS5 Series X, pretty much the 9th generation, I was actually saying this halfway through the 8th gen, that the 9th gen probably will be the last console generation to include a disc drive or just physical media altogether. There still is a possibility that the PS6 and the next Xbox would be straight digital. But now I think on the Sony side of things, I think the PlayStation 6 will indeed have a disc drive, but we could very well be wrong. And there may not actually be a disc drive on the PlayStation 6. But the way that these console manufacturers are been heading, and with the way that decline of physical media sales keep declining every single year, pretty much every single quarter, and digital sales just keep rising and rising and rising, honestly, it's a smart move. Honestly, we're getting into an only digital future. And honestly, that's just how we buy our games most of the time now. Like 90% of our games. Like, we've only purchased one game on both the PS5 and Series X digital, or physical, I mean. And that is Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora, and that was just a little over a month ago. And the only reason that I bought a disc copy, I originally want a digital copy, but the game was actually on sale for a physical copy, especially at Best Buy, for only half the price of the game as if I was to buy it digital. So instead of $70, Best Buy had a brand new copy of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora for $35. That's only half the price as the full $70 price tag. So I was just like, that's why we got the disc drive PS5 and Series X, was because in case if we have to buy games, especially if they're cheaper to get the physical disc versions, and if we ever get, Christmas presents of like that, we got the disc versions of the consoles to still be able to play and accept the gifts. So that's the whole reason why we purchased the disc version PS5 and the full-on fat disc version of the Xbox Series X, even though that's all there was for the Series X when it first came out. The only way you could get a digital current-gen Xbox was to get the Series S, the less powerful console. So really, the Series X for $500 was definitely worth the extra $200 than the Xbox Series S at $300. You're getting a disc drive to continue to, support the physical media, and you got the most powerful console pretty much ever. But yeah, we seen it coming. The decline of physical media. I mean, Best Buy and Walmart stores are already starting to get rid of physical media, physical games, and all that. Like, that's just the future we're getting close to. It's just how the world's going. Physical media is officially declining, and digital sales keep skyrocketing through the roof, and eventually everybody's just going to buy digital. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to ever happen, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have very good internet, so buying a digital version of a game just simply means that they're going to take days, upon even weeks, to install these big games, especially now when you look at games like Call of Duty that now hits up to like 150 to 200 gigs. Like, they're going to be taking like forever to download a game, especially if they only get internet that's only 10 megabytes a second. Now, that's still kind of decent, but when you compare a 200 gig game, sometimes they're not even going to get that full 10 megabytes a second of download speed, so really they'll be getting like 5 or 4 or something like that, so they'll be taking forever to download a game, especially like Call of Duty, that is like 200 to 200 plus gigs. Yeah. So there's not, people out there don't have the best internet as of yet, but honestly, there's just nothing we can honestly say, because the kind of physical media and now developers, especially when it comes to the Xbox side of things, ain't putting the full games on the discs. It's just like, that's their only hope. It's just to buy the digital download and then either go to a friend's house, instantly download that game, and then just go back home. I mean, that's just the future we're heading into, and because how much it does take to cost for making the discs and such, it's just, honestly, with the sales declining for physical media, developers ain't even going to really do that. And then when you can't even fit at least 50% of the game on a disc, like I was mentioning, at least for the Xbox side of things, it's even more like there's more of a no reason to buy a physical disc of a game. So, digital distribution is approaching us a lot quicker. That's what I meant to say. It is approaching us a lot sooner than we actually think. And I honestly think that the PlayStation 6 is probably going to be the last console that will include a disc drive. I don't think Sony is going to completely abandon the physical media audience, at least as of yet, when it comes to the next generation. But I do think that rumor/leak report of starting with the PS7 is probably going to be an all-digital only console. And there's been reports that the next generation Xbox is going to start with that. So the decline of physical media is dropping and dropping and dropping, and digital distribution sales is going up high. So that's the world we're living in and we're getting into. So no more physical media here in the next upcoming years. So physical media is essentially dying. And I know it absolutely sucks, but what can you say at this point, especially with all the things that I mentioned with everything about it. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this second video that we did today. Hope you enjoy it. If you could, smack that like button and subscribe if you are new to this channel, and we'll keep you posted with more content like this going forward. And let us know in the comment section down below if you are somebody that still prefers physical discs, like physical media for your console gaming, or if you're somebody that has transferred to all digital, and however long ago did you transfer to all digital back then. So just let us know if you are still a diehard physical media collector, or if you transferred to all digital sometime a while back. Other than that, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next video. Peace!